The Sphinx's true age, guardian of hidden time. In the golden sands of the Giza Plateau, where ancient stones meet the endless desert, stands a creature that has puzzled humanity for millennia. The Great Sphinx of Giza, with its human head and lion's body, gazes eternally eastward toward the rising sun, keeping secrets that may be far older than we ever imagined. For centuries, archaeologists have accepted that the Sphinx was carved during Pharaoh Khafre's reign around 2500 BC, making it approximately 4,500 years old. But what if this dating is wrong? What if the Sphinx is actually thousands of years older, carved by a civilization lost to history? Picture yourself standing before this massive monument in the cool desert dawn. The Sphinx rises 66 feet high and stretches 240 feet long, carved from a single piece of limestone bedrock. As morning light illuminates its weathered features, you might notice something that has troubled geologists for decades: the peculiar pattern of erosion covering its body. In the 1990s, geologist Robert Scholl examined the Sphinx and made a startling observation. The weathering patterns, he argued, were not consistent with wind and sand erosion expected in Egypt's desert climate. Instead, they appeared to be the result of heavy rainfall, the kind that Egypt had not experienced since the end of the last ice age, around 10,000 to 12,000 years ago. Scholl's water erosion theory sent shockwaves through archaeology. If correct, it would mean the Sphinx was carved when the Sahara was green and lush, when rivers flowed and rain fell regularly across what is now barren desert. This would push back the monument's age by thousands of years, to a time before ancient Egyptian civilization as we know it. The evidence for water erosion is compelling. The vertical weathering patterns on the Sphinx's body and enclosure walls are characteristic of water runoff, not the horizontal scoring from windblown sand. Geologists, comparing these patterns to similar limestone formations worldwide, find unmistakable resemblance to water erosion. But if the Sphinx is older than previously thought, who could have built it? During Egypt's rainy period, the region was inhabited by nomadic hunter-gatherer societies. Conventional wisdom suggests these peoples lacked the organizational skills and technological knowledge for such massive construction. This is where the mystery deepens. Some researchers suggest an unknown advanced civilization existed in Egypt during this earlier period, one that possessed sophisticated knowledge of astronomy, mathematics, and engineering. This hypothetical culture would have thrived during the African humid period, when the Sahara was green landscape dotted with lakes and rivers. The astronomical alignments add another layer to this mystery. The Sphinx gazes directly east toward the spring equinox sunrise. Around 10,500 BC, the constellation Leo would have risen in the east just before dawn on the spring equinox, appearing to rest directly above the Sphinx's head. This astronomical alignment suggests the monument was designed to mark this specific celestial event. Ancient Egyptian texts hint at the Sphinx's great age. The dream stele, erected between the Sphinx's paws by Pharaoh Thutmose IV around 1400 BC, refers to the monument as being ancient even then. The stele tells how the young prince fell asleep in the Sphinx's shadow and dreamed the monument spoke, promising him Egypt's throne if he would clear away the sand. This story suggests that by 1400 BC, the Sphinx was already considered an ancient relic. If carved during Khafre's reign around 2500 BC, it would have been only about 1,100 years old. Old, but hardly ancient by Egyptian standards. Modern technology has revealed hidden secrets. Ground-penetrating radar has detected chambers and passages beneath the Sphinx and surrounding area. Acoustic testing has identified hollow spaces within the monument's body, suggesting secret chambers that have never been explored. The geological evidence extends beyond the Sphinx to the surrounding Giza Plateau. Core samples reveal layers of sediment telling the story of dramatic climate changes over thousands of years. These samples show clear evidence of periods when the region experienced heavy rainfall and flooding, followed by gradual transition to today's arid conditions. Dr. Schock's theory has gained support from other scientists studying the monument independently. Colin Reeder, a British geologist, has concluded that the weathering patterns are indeed consistent with water erosion rather than wind and sand. However, the theory remains controversial. Critics argue that the limestone varies in hardness and composition, which could create differential weathering patterns mistaken for water erosion. They also point out that occasional heavy rainstorms in Egypt could have contributed to weathering over thousands of years. The debate raises questions about the relationship between the Sphinx and nearby pyramids. If the Sphinx is significantly older, it suggests the Giza complex developed over a much longer period. Some researchers propose that an ancient sacred site existed at Giza long before the pyramids, and pyramid builders chose the location partly because of the already ancient Sphinx. Recent discoveries at Göbekli Tepe in Turkey have shown that prehistoric peoples were capable of far more sophisticated construction than previously believed. This 11,000-year-old temple complex demonstrates that organized societies with advanced knowledge existed much earlier than the rise of civilization in Mesopotamia and Egypt, making the idea of an ancient unknown civilization more plausible. The mystery challenges our understanding of human history and civilization's development. If the monument is older than currently accepted, it would mean sophisticated cultures existed thousands of years before the first known civilizations. This would require reconsidering the timeline of human development and the possibility that advanced knowledge has been lost and rediscovered multiple times. As research continues, new technologies may provide definitive answers about the Sphinx's true age. Advanced dating techniques, detailed geological analysis, and perhaps exploration of hidden chambers may reveal secrets buried for millennia. The Great Sphinx continues to gaze eastward as it has for thousands of years, keeping its secrets while challenging us to question assumptions about the past. Whether carved 4,500 years ago or twice that age, it remains one of humanity's most enigmatic creations, reminding us that there is still much we don't know about our own history. The Antikythera mechanism, ancient Greece's impossible computer. Imagine diving into crystal-clear waters off the Greek island of Antikythera in 1900, searching for sponges among the rocky seafloor. Suddenly, through the blue depths, you glimpse the ghostly outline of an ancient shipwreck, its wooden hull long rotted away, leaving behind scattered marble statues, bronze vessels, and mysterious corroded lumps that would change our understanding of ancient technology forever. Captain Dimitrios Kondos and his sponge diving crew stumbled upon one of archaeology's most significant discoveries. Among the artifacts from this 2,000-year-old Roman shipwreck was a seemingly unremarkable chunk of corroded bronze and wood. Little did they know this humble object would prove to be the most sophisticated piece of technology from the ancient world ever discovered. For decades, this corroded lump sat in Athens's National Archaeological Museum, largely ignored by scholars who assumed it was simply another piece of ancient metalwork. It wasn't until 1951 that British science historian Derek de Solla Price began seriously examining the object and realized he was looking at something extraordinary: the remains of an intricate mechanical device unlike anything known from the ancient world. As Price studied the fragments, he began discerning outlines of bronze gears, wheels, and inscriptions. Using X-ray photography, he revealed a complex system of interlocking gears hidden within the corroded mass. What emerged was astounding. This was an ancient analog computer designed to calculate and predict celestial body movements with remarkable precision. The Antikythera mechanism consisted of at least 37 bronze gear wheels, arranged in a sophisticated system that could track the sun, moon, and planets' positions. The device was housed in a wooden case about the size of a modern laptop, with bronze dials on front and back displaying various astronomical information. The front featured a large dial representing the Egyptian calendar, with an inner dial showing traditional Greek zodiac signs. As users turned a hand crank, pointers moved around these dials, indicating current celestial body positions. The back contained two smaller dials tracking lunar cycles and predicting eclipses. What makes this device remarkable is not just its complexity, but the sophistication of astronomical knowledge it embodies. The mechanism could predict positions of the Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn with impressive accuracy. It incorporated knowledge of irregular orbits, using complex gear ratios to account for varying speeds across the sky. The eclipse prediction dial was particularly sophisticated, forecasting solar and lunar eclipses years in advance, using the complex 223-month Saros cycle governing eclipse patterns. This level of astronomical knowledge wasn't thought to exist in the ancient world, yet here was physical proof that ancient Greek astronomers understood celestial mechanics far better than historians believed. Recent studies using advanced imaging technology have revealed even more details. High-resolution CT scans and 3D modeling have allowed researchers to read previously invisible inscriptions and understand the gear system's full complexity. These studies show the device was essentially an ancient planetarium, capable of showing celestial body positions for any given date. Inscriptions found on the mechanism provide clues about its origins and use. Written in ancient Greek, they include instruction manual explanations for operating the device and interpreting displays. Some inscriptions reference astronomical events and eclipse predictions, while others appear to be calendrical information related to Greek festivals and games. The craftsmanship level is extraordinary. Bronze gears were cut with remarkable precision, and gear ratios were calculated to represent complex astronomical cycles with impressive accuracy. The largest gear wheel contains 223 teeth, corresponding to the Saros eclipse cycle, while other gears use ratios representing various planets' orbital periods. Who could have created such a sophisticated device? The mechanism dates to approximately 100 to 50 BC. During ancient Greek civilization's height, this was when Greek astronomers like Hipparchus and Apollonius were making groundbreaking discoveries about planetary motion and developing mathematical models describing celestial movements. Some researchers believe the mechanism may have been created by Hipparchus followers, ancient Greece's greatest astronomer. Hipparchus was known for precise stellar position observations and discovering equinox precession. He also developed mathematical techniques for predicting planetary positions that could have been incorporated into a mechanical device like the Antikythera mechanism. The island of Rhodes has been suggested as a possible birthplace. Rhodes was home to a famous astronomy and mechanical engineering school known for skilled craftsmen creating elaborate mechanical devices. The Colossus of Rhodes, one of the Seven Wonders, demonstrated the island's reputation for impressive engineering projects. The discovery has forced historians to reconsider assumptions about ancient technology. Before its discovery, most scholars believe complex mechanical devices like this weren't developed until the Renaissance. The mechanism shows ancient Greek craftsmen possessed sophisticated knowledge of gear ratios, mechanical engineering, and precision manufacturing techniques. The device raises intriguing questions about what other advanced technologies might have existed in the ancient world but were subsequently lost. If Greeks could create such a sophisticated astronomical computer, what other innovations might they have developed? How much knowledge was lost during classical civilization's decline? Modern attempts to reconstruct the mechanism have highlighted the ancient creator's remarkable skill. Using traditional metalworking techniques available in ancient Greece, modern craftsmen have struggled to replicate the original device's precision and complexity. This suggests ancient Greeks had developed specialized tools and techniques that haven't survived. The mechanism's influence on later technological development remains mysterious. While similar devices are described in later Byzantine and Islamic texts, there's no clear evidence of continuous tradition from ancient Greece to the modern era. The required knowledge seems to have been lost during the Roman Empire's collapse and wasn't rediscovered until medieval European mechanical clock development. Recent research suggests the Antikythera mechanism may not have been unique. References in ancient texts to similar devices, combined with the sophisticated astronomical knowledge evident in the mechanism, suggest mechanical computers may have been more common than previously thought. Unfortunately, bronze was valuable material often melted down and reused, explaining why so few examples survived. Ongoing study continues revealing new details about construction and capabilities. Researchers use increasingly sophisticated imaging techniques to read faded inscriptions and understand the gear system's full complexity. Each discovery adds to our appreciation of this device's remarkable achievement. As we marvel at this ancient computer, we're reminded that human ingenuity and cosmic curiosity aren't modern inventions. Over 2,000 years ago, Greek craftsmen and astronomers combined their knowledge to create a device unlocking heaven's secrets, predicting celestial events with precision unmatched for over a millennium. Göbekli Tepe's secret, the temple that rewrote history. In southeastern Turkey's rolling hills, where ancient landscape meets the modern world, lies a discovery so extraordinary that it has forced archaeologists to completely rewrite human civilization's story. Göbekli Tepe, meaning belly hill in Turkish, appeared to be nothing more than an unremarkable mound covered with wild grasses. But beneath this humble exterior lay the world's oldest known temple complex, built by hunter-gatherers over 11,000 years ago. Picture yourself standing on this wind-swept hilltop as the sun rises over Mesopotamian plains. The excavated areas reveal massive stone pillars arranged in perfect circles, each carved with intricate reliefs of animals, symbols, and mysterious figures. These aren't crude stone markers left by primitive peoples, but sophisticated architectural achievements predating Stonehenge by 6,000 years and Egyptian pyramids by 7,000 years. The discovery story begins in the 1960s when archaeologist Klaus Schmidt first visited the site. Local farmers had been finding worked stones in their fields for generations, but it wasn't until Schmidt's systematic excavation began in 1995 that the true magnitude became apparent. What he found challenged everything archaeologists thought they knew about prehistoric societies' capabilities. The temple complex consists of at least 20 circular enclosures, each defined by massive T-shaped limestone pillars reaching up to 20 feet in height and weighing as much as 20 tons. These pillars were quarried from the hillside itself, using techniques that remain mysterious. How did hunter-gatherer societies, supposedly lacking sophisticated tools and organization, manage to quarry, transport, and erect such massive stones? The most remarkable aspect isn't just age or size, but the artistic sophistication of carvings. Pillars are covered with detailed reliefs depicting lions, bears, wild boars, foxes, gazelles, snakes, and birds. Some show human-like figures with elaborate headdresses, while others display abstract symbols whose meanings remain unknown. The craftsmanship quality rivals anything produced by later, supposedly more advanced civilizations. What makes these carvings even more intriguing is that many depicted animals no longer lived in the region when the temple was built. This suggests builders had either traveled great distances or were working from cultural memories of animals from earlier periods. The art tells stories we cannot yet read, preserving worldviews of people who lived at civilization's dawn. The most puzzling aspect is why it was built at all. Traditional archaeological theory held that monumental architecture only emerged after agriculture development, when settled farming communities could support specialists needed for large construction projects. But Göbekli Tepe was built by nomadic hunter-gatherers with no permanent settlements and no domesticated animals or crops. This has led to a revolutionary theory about civilization's origins itself. Rather than agriculture leading to monument building, some archaeologists now believe the desire to create and maintain places like Göbekli Tepe may have driven agriculture development. The need to feed workers and visitors gathering at this sacred site may have encouraged people to begin cultivating wild grains and domesticating animals. Archaeological evidence supports this radical idea. Excavations around Göbekli Tepe have revealed some of the world's earliest evidence of grain cultivation and animal domestication. It's as if the temple complex served as a catalyst for the agricultural revolution that would transform human society. The organization required was staggering. Estimates suggest each pillar required 500 people working together to move it into position. The entire complex would have demanded coordination among hundreds, perhaps thousands of workers over many generations. This level of social organization was previously thought impossible for hunter-gatherer societies. Recent discoveries have revealed that Göbekli Tepe was part of a larger network of similar sites across the region. Smaller temple complexes with similar T-shaped pillars and animal carvings have been found at other locations in Turkey and northern Syria. This suggests the culture responsible was more widespread and sophisticated than initially believed. The construction techniques remain partly mysterious. Builders use stone tools to quarry and shape massive limestone blocks, yet achieved remarkable precision. Experimental archaeology has shown that stone tools can work limestone effectively, but the scale and precision at Göbekli Tepe suggests builders had developed specialized techniques lost to time. One of the most intriguing aspects is astronomical alignments. Several stone circles appear oriented toward specific celestial events, such as certain stars rising or moon positions at particular times. This suggests builders possess sophisticated astronomical knowledge and could incorporate this into monumental architecture. Animal carvings may also encode astronomical information. Some researchers suggest various animals represent constellations, and pillars served as a kind of stone star chart. If this interpretation is correct, it would mean complex astronomical knowledge existed thousands of years earlier than previously thought. Perhaps the most mysterious aspect is its deliberate burial. Around 8,000 years ago, the entire complex was carefully covered with tons of earth and stones. This wasn't natural erosion or abandonment. It was a conscious decision to hide the temples. The burial was so complete that the site remained hidden until modern archaeological excavation. Why would people go to such enormous effort to bury their most sacred site? Several theories exist. Climate change during this period was making the region more arid, perhaps forcing inhabitants to move elsewhere. Alternatively, changing religious beliefs or social structures might have made old temples obsolete. Some researchers suggest the burial was intended to preserve the site for future discovery. The discovery has implications far beyond archaeology. It suggests that capacity for complex symbolic thinking, artistic expression, and monumental construction emerged much earlier in human development than previously believed. Our ancestors were creating sophisticated art and architecture while most of Europe was still locked in the Ice Age. The site also raises questions about religion's role in human development. Göbekli Tepe appears purely ceremonial. No evidence of permanent habitation has been found. This suggests spiritual beliefs and ritual practices may have been more important in early human society than previously thought. The temple complex represents one of humanity's earliest attempts to create sacred space set apart from the everyday world. Recent excavations continue revealing new surprises. Ground-penetrating radar has detected many more buried structures around excavated areas, suggesting Göbekli Tepe is far larger than initially thought. Some estimates suggest less than 10% has been excavated, meaning many more discoveries await future archaeologists. As we contemplate Göbekli Tepe's mysteries, we're reminded that our understanding of human history constantly evolves. Each new discovery has potential to overturn long-held assumptions about our ancestors and their capabilities. The temple complex stands as proof that innovation, artistry, and spiritual consciousness have been part of human experience far longer than ever imagined. The builders left us a message carved in stone, but it's written in a language we're still learning to read. Their sophisticated art and monumental architecture speak of minds capable of abstract thought, complex planning, and profound creativity. They remind us that the human capacity for wonder and desire to create something greater than ourselves are not modern inventions, but ancient traits connecting us to our earliest ancestors. The Nazca lines, messages, written in the desert high above southern Peru's arid plains, where Andes Mountains meet the Pacific coastline, lies one of archaeology's most perplexing puzzles. Etched into the desert floor with mathematical precision are the Nazca lines, massive geoglyphs that can only be fully appreciated from the sky. These enormous drawings include geometric patterns stretching for miles, alongside detailed animal depictions so large they dwarf city blocks. Imagine flying over this desolate landscape in a small aircraft, the Nazca Desert spreading endlessly below in shades of brown and tan. Suddenly, the seemingly uniform desert floor transforms before your eyes. A giant spider emerges from the earth, its legs delicately traced across 150 feet of desert. A hummingbird spreads its wings over 300 feet wide, while a monkey with a spiraled tail stretches across the ancient landscape. The modern discovery began in 1927 when Peruvian archaeologist Toribio Mejia Chespe was hiking through foothills surrounding the Nazca Plateau. From higher elevations, what appeared to be random scratches revealed themselves as deliberate patterns and lines. But it wasn't until the 1930s, when aviation became more common, that the phenomenon's true scope became apparent. Pilot Paul Kosak brought the Nazca lines to world attention in 1939 when he spotted the unmistakable outline of a bird etched into the earth below his aircraft. His photographs revealed a network of lines covering nearly 200 square miles of desert, ranging from simple straight lines running for 30 miles to complex animal figures and geometric patterns that defied explanation. No one became more devoted to understanding these mysterious markings than Maria Reiche, a German mathematician who dedicated her life to studying the lines. Beginning in 1946, Reiche spent decades in the harsh desert environment, measuring and mapping every line she could find. Armed with basic surveying tools, a ladder, and unwavering determination, she documented hundreds of individual figures and thousands of geometric lines. Reich's work revealed the extraordinary precision with which the lines had been created. Straight lines deviated less than 2 meters over distances of several miles, while animal figures maintained perfect proportions despite their enormous size. This level of accuracy seemed impossible for people working without aerial perspective, yet somehow the ancient Nazca culture had achieved it. The Nazca people flourished between 100 and 700 AD in one of the world's most arid environments. They were skilled engineers who developed sophisticated irrigation systems, including underground aqueducts called puquios, that brought water from distant mountain sources. Their pottery and textiles display remarkable artistry, but nothing in their known achievements prepared archaeologists for the desert line's scale and complexity. The method of creating the lines was relatively simple, but required enormous effort. The desert surface is covered with a layer of dark stones created by centuries of oxidation. By carefully removing these dark stones to reveal lighter sediment beneath, Nazca artists could create visible lines and patterns that would last for centuries in the arid climate. But why were the lines created on such a massive scale? Maria Reich developed the theory that dominated thinking for decades, that they formed a giant astronomical calendar. According to her calculations, many lines pointed toward celestial bodies' rising and setting positions, allowing the Nazca people to track seasons and predict important astronomical events. However, as more researchers studied the lines, alternative theories emerged. Dr. Johann Reinhardt proposed that the lines were related to water ceremonies and mountain worship. In the life or death environment of the Nazca Desert, water was the most precious resource, and the lines might have served as ceremonial pathways used in rituals designed to ensure adequate rainfall. This water theory gained support from ethnographic studies of contemporary Andean peoples, many of whom still practice ceremonies related to mountain spirits and water deities. The straight lines could have functioned as sacred paths, allowing priests and worshippers to walk toward holy mountains while conducting vital water ceremonies. Archaeologist Helene Silverman's excavations revealed that many lines were associated with ancient settlements and ceremonial sites. Rather than being purely astronomical instruments, the lines might have served multiple purposes as pathways between communities, territorial boundaries, or processional routes for religious ceremonies that brought scattered desert communities together. The animal figures, or biomorphs, present their own unique mysteries. These massive drawings include not only local species like condors and hummingbirds, but also animals that weren't native to the region, such as monkeys and killer whales. This suggests the Nazca people maintained extensive trade networks connecting the desert with the Amazon rainforest and Pacific coast. The precision of these animal figures is particularly remarkable. The hummingbird is drawn with such accuracy that ornithologists can identify specific anatomical features, despite the figure being so large it can only be appreciated from the air. This raises profound questions about how ancient artists maintained such accuracy across vast scales without aerial perspective. Some researchers have proposed that the Nazca people used scaled models and mathematical techniques to transfer designs from small drawings to full-size desert implementations. With careful surveying using stakes and ropes, even complex designs could be enlarged with remarkable precision. This would have required sophisticated understanding of geometry and careful planning. The preservation of the lines is due to the unique climate of the Nazca region, which receives less than an inch of rainfall annually. The lack of vegetation and extreme aridity have protected these delicate artworks for over 1,000 years. However, the lines are fragile and can be damaged by something as simple as a person walking across them. Recent threats include tourism, urban development, and climate change. In 2014, Greenpeace activists caused international outrage when they damaged the area near the hummingbird figure while setting up a protest. The incident highlighted the vulnerability of these irreplaceable archaeological treasures. Modern technology continues revealing new aspects of the Nazca lines. Satellite imagery has detected previously unknown lines and figures, while ground-penetrating radar has revealed subsurface features that might be related to the line's construction or purpose. Each new discovery adds complexity to our understanding of this ancient phenomenon. Recent archaeological work has also revealed more about the people who created these wonders. Excavations at Nazca settlements show sophisticated urban planning and complex social organization. DNA analysis indicates the Nazca people had extensive contacts with other cultures throughout Peru, supporting theories that the lines might have served as gathering places for people from different regions. The debate over the line's purpose continues to evolve. Perhaps they served multiple functions that changed over time, beginning as simple pathways between settlements and evolving into complex ceremonial centers with astronomical alignments added as the culture's knowledge became more sophisticated. As we consider the various theories about the Nazca lines, we must marvel at the vision and dedication of their creators. Whether they were astronomers, priests, or artists, they invested enormous effort in a project whose meaning may never be completely understood. The lines remind us that ancient peoples were capable of achievements that continue to challenge our assumptions about what was possible with limited technology and resources. Stonehenge's mystery, the sacred circle of ancient Britain. On the windswept plains of Salisbury in southern England, where morning mist clings to rolling green hills and ancient pathways cross the landscape, stands perhaps the most famous prehistoric monument in the world. Stonehenge rises from the earth like a circle of silent guardians, its massive trilithons creating doorways between the ancient world and our own. For over 4,500 years, this stone circle has captured human imagination, yet its true purpose remains one of archaeology's greatest mysteries. Picture yourself approaching Stonehenge at dawn, when the first light illuminates the weathered sarsen stones and the monument seems to emerge from the landscape itself. The circular arrangement of enormous stone pillars, some still supporting their massive horizontal lintels, creates an awe-inspiring sight that has moved visitors for millennia. This is not merely a collection of stones, but a sophisticated architectural achievement representing over 1,500 years of continuous construction and modification. The story begins nearly 5,000 years ago with a simple circular earthwork, a ditch and embankment that enclosed a sacred space. Within this original henge, archaeologists have discovered the Aubrey Holes, a ring of 56 pits that held wooden posts or standing stones. Many contained cremated human remains, suggesting Stonehenge began as a burial ground and ceremonial site for Neolithic communities. Around 2600 BC, the site underwent its most dramatic transformation. The massive sarsen stones that create Stonehenge's iconic silhouette were quarried from the Marlborough Downs, 20 miles to the north. These enormous sandstone blocks, some weighing up to 50 tons, were transported across the countryside using only Neolithic technology, wooden rollers, rope, and hundreds of workers coordinating their efforts. Even more remarkable was the journey of the bluestones that formed the inner circle. These smaller stones, weighing 2 to 4 tons each, originated from the Preseli Hills in southwest Wales, over 150 miles away. The transportation of these specific stones across such a distance represents one of prehistoric Europe's most extraordinary logistical achievements, raising profound questions about why these particular stones were so important. Recent archaeological research suggests the bluestones traveled by raft along the Welsh coast and up English rivers before making their final overland journey to Stonehenge. But why would Neolithic peoples undertake such enormous effort when suitable local stone was readily available? The answer may lie in beliefs about the Welsh bluestone's special properties. Some researchers propose that Stonehenge functioned as a prehistoric healing center, attracting pilgrims from across Europe who believed the bluestones possess curative powers. Evidence supporting this theory includes the unusually high number of burials at Stonehenge showing signs of trauma and disease. Chemical analysis reveals that many individuals buried here had traveled from distant lands, suggesting the monument's reputation as a place of healing had spread far beyond Britain. The acoustic properties add another layer to the mystery. The stone circle creates natural amplification effects, enhancing sounds generated within while dampening external noise. This acoustic phenomenon would have made Stonehenge an ideal setting for ceremonies involving chanting, music, or spoken rituals, adding to the site's mystical atmosphere. Stonehenge's most famous feature is its precise astronomical alignment. During the summer solstice, the sun rises directly over the heelstone as viewed from the center of the circle. This alignment is too exact to be coincidental. It represents deliberate incorporation of astronomical knowledge into the monument's design. The site also aligns with winter solstice sunset and certain lunar cycles, suggesting it functioned as a sophisticated celestial observatory. The engineering required demonstrates remarkable technical knowledge. The massive trilithons were erected using a complex system of ramps, levers, and counterweights that required hundreds of people working in coordination. The horizontal lintel stones were carefully curved to create the illusion of a perfect circle, and mortise and tenon joints secured them to the upright stones with impressive precision. Recent discoveries have revealed that Stonehenge was not an isolated monument, but the centerpiece of a vast, sacred landscape. The surrounding area contains numerous burial mounds, ceremonial avenues, and other henges. This landscape approach has shown that Stonehenge functioned within a broader network of sacred sites connected by ancient pathways. The Stonehenge Riverside Project has uncovered evidence of a large settlement at nearby Durrington Walls, which may have housed the workers who built the monument. Discoveries of feasting remains and ceremonial objects suggest that Stonehenge was the focal point of major seasonal gatherings that brought together communities from across Britain. One of the most intriguing discoveries is the Amesbury Archer, buried just miles from the monument around 2300 BC. This individual was interred with the richest grave goods ever found from this period in Britain, including copper knives and gold ornaments. Chemical analysis of his teeth revealed he had grown up in the Alps region, suggesting that Stonehenge attracted important visitors from across Europe. Modern conservation efforts using laser scanning and photogrammetry have documented every surface of the monument, revealing ancient tool marks and previously unknown carvings. These techniques have also uncovered evidence of how the stones were shaped and positioned, providing new insights into Neolithic construction methods. Ground-penetrating radar surveys continue to detect buried features around Stonehenge, including evidence of additional stone circles and ceremonial structures. These discoveries suggest that the monument complex was far larger and more complex than the visible remains indicate. The mystery of Stonehenge's purpose likely reflects the site's evolution over many centuries. What began as a simple burial ground developed into a complex ceremonial center that incorporated astronomical observations, healing practices, and community gatherings. Different phases of construction may have served different functions as the monument's role in society changed over time. Climate change now threatens Stonehenge's preservation. Increased rainfall and extreme weather events are accelerating erosion of the monument's chalk foundations. Conservation specialists are developing new techniques to protect the stones while maintaining their historical integrity for future generations. As we stand before these ancient stones today, we can only imagine the ceremonies that took place here over the millennia. Whether people came seeking healing, conducting astronomical observations, or honoring their ancestors, Stonehenge served as a bridge between the earthly and divine realms. The monument continues to inspire wonder and speculation, reminding us that the human need to create sacred spaces and mark celestial events transcends time and culture. Atlantis, the lost civilization that haunts our dreams. As our journey through ancient mysteries draws to a close, we turn to perhaps the most famous lost civilization in human history, Atlantis. For over 2 millennia, this legendary island empire has captured imaginations, inspiring countless expeditions and theories. But what if Atlantis was more than just philosophical allegory? What if somewhere beneath the waves, the remains of this advanced civilization still wait to be discovered? The story begins in ancient Athens around 360 BC, when philosopher Plato introduced the world to Atlantis in his dialogues Timaeus and Critias. According to Plato's account, this mighty island nation existed 9,000 years before his time, located beyond the Pillars of Hercules, the Strait of Gibraltar. Atlantis was described as larger than Libya and Asia combined, with a sophisticated capital city arranged in concentric circles of land and water. Picture Plato's vision of this remarkable civilization, a magnificent palace and temple complex dedicated to Poseidon at the city's heart, protected by 3 circular moats connected by tunnels large enough for ships. The Atlanteans, descended from Poseidon himself, possessed advanced technology and controlled a powerful navy that dominated the Mediterranean. Their island was rich in precious metals, including the mysterious orichalcum, second only to gold in value. But prosperity led to corruption. As their divine heritage became diluted over generations, the Atlanteans grew aggressive and began conquering their neighbors. When they set their sights on Athens and the Mediterranean world, the gods decided to punish their hubris. In a single day and night of catastrophic earthquakes and floods, Atlantis disappeared beneath the waves, leaving only legends and scattered survivors. For centuries, scholars debated whether Plato intended his account as literal history or philosophical allegory. But as archaeological discoveries revealed advanced Bronze Age civilizations previously unknown, some researchers began wondering if Atlantis might be based on real historical events, perhaps a distant memory of an actual civilization destroyed by natural catastrophe. The most compelling theory places Atlantis in the Aegean Sea, specifically on the volcanic island of Santorini. Around 1600 BC, a massive volcanic eruption devastated this island, home to the sophisticated Minoan civilization. Archaeological excavations at Akrotiri have revealed a city with multi-story buildings, advanced drainage systems, and elaborate frescoes depicting dolphins and exotic landscapes. The Santorini eruption was catastrophic in scale, ejecting 30 cubic miles of material into the atmosphere and creating tsunamis over 100 feet high. The similarities to Plato's account are striking. An advanced island civilization destroyed in a single day by natural disaster, leaving only ruins and memories. Could oral traditions have preserved memories of this destruction across the centuries until they reached Plato? Dr. Spiridon Marinatos, who excavated Akrotiri, believed the Minoan civilization inspired Atlantis. His discoveries revealed a society matching many aspects of Plato's description: advanced technology, sophisticated art, and a maritime empire controlling Mediterranean trade routes. Other theories place Atlantis in different locations. Some point to underwater formations off Spain, Morocco, or the Azores, where satellite imagery has revealed intriguing geometric patterns on. Thank you for listening to us. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video.